us another day. All we do is scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Sorry, I'm live. I'm live. Yo, guys. It is Old Man G here. Back again with another match reaction. Sorry, get out of the way. Another match reaction, guys. And it was painful, but we won. What can I say? It was painful, but we won. It was painful, but we won. At the end of the day, guys, Manchester United won. Marcus Rashford, as you can see in the title, wins it. Considering all the news, that's gone around today, and I'm sure if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a Liverpool fan, if you are a Barcelona fan, it's probably not been a great day for you today. It's been a great day for all of my alter egos. I must lie. Shout out to Magpies, shout out to Los Blancos Student Man. It's been a great day for these guys, but I mean, my goodness, man. We made ourselves get through that. We made ourselves get through that. By the way, guys, if you are new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us on Twitter and X, and smash the notification button for the latest Manchester United news and more. I will be putting the stream link in, so if there's anyone that wants to come in for post-match reactions, all the rest of it, please do. I'm going to be trying to get my stream mojo back, having been away for a while with work-related things and exams and stuff like that. So yeah, get involved. Basically, get involved. As far as this game's concerned, I posted a brief short on the channel just before, so make sure you check that out. The first half was good. We dominated possession. We had 13 chances, I think. So I think it was like it must have been at least it must have been at least 13-1. I think it was at least 13-1, and we dominated. And then after that, we just seemed to just disappear, really. We just seemed to disappear, and that was not. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. And I think that fundamentally, we obviously do miss Casemiro. We do miss Eriksen. We do miss those key players that basically make Manchester United tick. But as I said early in I think my previous streams, what I've been saying is the fact that if Manchester United beat Brentford and we beat Everton at the weekend, then at least in my opinion, I think that top four is secure. I think the top four, if we beat those, I think the top four will be secure, in my opinion. I think top four will be secure. I know there was a bit of a worry because we lost Newcastle, but you saw what Newcastle did to West Ham. Newcastle's form this season has been nothing short of incredible, and they deserve to be where they are. We are basically where Newcastle were, in that Newcastle had loads of injuries, key players were out, and they started to drop points. Whereas we now have obviously got players out. Casimir's out, Eriksen's out, but we're going to start to get players coming back towards the latter end of the season, and that's what we need, basically. That's essentially what we need. Let me quickly just look in the chat. Big up Red Devils, great win, but at least United dominated in game stats. Marshall needs to stay fit to add to the goals. Mo says we needed that win. Happy with that performance as well. We just need to find another source of goals. Rushy man of the match. Yeah, that's I think the key thing. You know, we clearly are. And so for those who want to join the post match, the StreamYard link is in the chat. That I think is the key problem in that Manchester and that our goals. Rashford is basically our only goal scorer. I'm hoping that Martial will stay fit and will contribute to it. But you know, at the end of the day, Garnacho's injured. Sancho is hit. Well, I would say he's been mostly a miss. Let's keep a stack. Sancho's been a miss. Anthony had an okay game today, I think. I mean, in fact, let's have a look at the let's just have a quick look at the lineups here. So I'll just go my thoughts through the team. So first and foremost, David De Gea. David De Gea basically kept it 1-1. Let's keep it a stack. He made, I think, 2 fantastic saves that essentially kept us in the game. If it wasn't for David De Gea, we wouldn't be in the game. We wouldn't. So his distribution still needs work, but at the end of the day, the dude was able to keep us in the game. It's as simple as that. He was able to keep us in the game, and part of the reason why, aside from Rashford obviously scoring the goal, is that it's actually us. It's actually us. What am I trying to say? It's actually us. David De Gea keeping us in the game, saving the shots. That's just keep a stack. That is the case. Varane, Martinez, you know, solid. I don't think they had really too many problems, to be honest. I think really the issue was our midfield coming down. Our midfield always has been the biggest issue when it comes to this game, really, to our recent games. At least that's what I would say. Luke Shaw obviously went off injured. Malacia came in. You know, again, you know, we're picking up injuries, and again, you're thinking, okay, you know, can we afford to pick up more and more injuries? I don't know. He's got a hamstring problem. It'd be interesting to see how long he's out for, because we could really use a fit Shaw right now. Malacia obviously can come in and deputize, but then you're thinking, okay, who, you know, not only does that mean that we're short at left, but also technically short centre back as well. Because clearly Ten Hag doesn't want to play Maguire. He doesn't want to play Maguire. We should be fine against Everton the weekend, but following week we've got Sevilla. We got Sevilla as part of the Europa League, which is going to be tough, and we need we need depth there. Thankfully, you saw obviously Martial being back. You saw always seeing Ericsson sort of being back. So fingers crossed, you know, we can get more players back. So, but Luke Shaw, I think, had an okay game. Malacia came in and did a decent job. Dallo, obviously, I think Dallo had a good game. I wouldn't say it's a world-class game. He had a good game. I don't know what Wan-Bissaka and Fred have done to be out of favor, at least in my opinion. I don't know what they've done. You know, is someone dating someone's daughter? I don't know, because, you know, Scott McTominay, I still to this day don't know what he contributes, at least in this position, aside from getting booked. I'm not saying it was trash, but I don't know what he does. I did think that there was a bit more balance when Bruno played the more holding position. So if we're going to do it this way, then going forward, maybe this is the way. If Fred is too expansive, shall we say, even though I think that you need his physicality in games like this, and certainly against Everton. Everton are physical. We need physicality, and Fred is physical and tenacious. But Bruno sacrificing to being dropped in sort of a bit up top, you know, fair enough. It's work. To be honest, I'd have probably put Scott McTominay in the 8. Put Sabitzer here and put Scott McTominay in the 8. I just don't really know what we get from Scott McTominay in these positions. And today, like, I think he was one of our weaker players. Like he was one of our weaker players. I just don't know what we're doing. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't really know. I don't really know what we'll give him. So Mega says, man, just sell Bruno. It's not just Bruno's fault, Mega Man. Come on, it's not just Bruno's fault. What about McTominay? What about McTominay? McTominay, there's so many other players I would sell before Bruno, man. Really. There are legit other players I would sell before Bruno, and McTominay is definitely one of them. Yes, and it's a bit like he got the assist, so you know, shout out to Sapitza. Sorry. Oh, shout out to Sabitzer as well. Anthony, I think again, did Anthony have a good game today? It was passable. You know, it was passable. It still wasn't the you know, the game that we're expecting from the dude. But you know, he did his thing. You know, he did his thing. So I can't really complain about I can't really complain solely about his performance. McTominay is leaving in the summer. Is he? Is he? Is he? That's news to me. That's news to me if McTominay is leaving the summer. Like if there's something about his contract or whatever, but as far as I know, McTominay is still going to be with Manchester United in the summer. So yeah, let me know. Bruno had a very good game, says Mo, in the 6. A couple of Bruno months, but that's what I'm saying. Bruno, I think, you know, for the midfield that we have right now, I think this is a more balanced midfield with what you can see here. It's a much more balanced midfield because Scott McTominay is not a defensive midfield and he needs someone to hold his hand. We've always known that. Hence why Fred plays better without him. You know, he needs someone there to hold his hand. It's as simple as that. Personally, I would actually have played Scott McTominay in the 8 because I think he's better there. You see that for Scotland and even occasionally against Leeds. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, Bruno in that 6th position had a good game in my opinion. Sancho wasn't not bad, but I mean, you know, I'm getting a bit. I'll be honest, I'm getting a little bit tired of Sancho. For me, he's still young, but we give it one season, and I think that if it doesn't work next season, with a good transfer window, and it still doesn't work, then I think you've got to consider whether we have to move Sancho on. And in defense of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Solskjaer was getting a lot of hate for, oh, he's ruined Sancho. Sancho's bad. Donny van der Beek, blah, 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 blah. Ronaldo. At the end of the day, when you look at all the players that he had issues with, Pogba, potentially Ronaldo, Sancho, and Van der Beek. Van der Beek is out injured. Ten Hag doesn't really want him. Sancho's been out or been around. Ten Hag doesn't really rate him. He fell out with Ronaldo, fell out with Ten Hag. So goodness knows what Oli had to do to try and keep the peace. And then Pogba, who he tried to keep the peace with Pogba. Pogba's been injured all season for Juve. So all of these players that we cap for under Oli, who are like, you need to do this, you need to play that. At the end of the day, look at them now. They're all over the place. They're all over the place, guys. So there you go. You know, so it is what it is. Marcus Rashford obviously scored the goal. So, you know, give it to him. But I think after that, didn't really notice him. He had 1 or 2 good chances, I think, in the second half, but really fell off. We really needed someone in the second half to really hold on to the ball, which is a bit annoying. Obviously, subs wise, you know, Weghorst and Palestri stayed on the bench. But Martial came on. Malassi, obviously, for sure. Victor Lindelof came on to short the defense. Fred. The fact that obviously, you know, Harry Maguire didn't come on, you can see that Harry Maguire is basically 4th choice now, possibly even 5th choice to Shaw. Because I imagine that, you know, if one of these guys were injured, he'd put Shaw into centre back, you know, and then Malacia would come on. So I can't see, based on what I've seen so far, because Maguire's barely had any game time. I can't see Maguire staying this summer. I can't see Maguire staying. Shout out to Box, who's in the chat. He says, poor game. It was a poor game. It was a very poor game. But at the end of the day, and obviously we'll just go to the Premier League table here. At At the end of the day, United are fourth. United are fourth with a game in hand over Spurs. You know, all the and Newcastle also have a game in hand as well. So, like I was saying to a lot of people, I was like, oh, I posted a tweet about this, guys. I said, oh, those United danger maker not taken for blah blah. And I was like, do you guys really trust Spurs? Do you guys really trust Spurs? You know, we have a game on Saturday. It's a quick turnaround, but we're at home against Everton. Yes, Sean Dyche is annoying, although we do tend to get results against him, barely, but we do. But we get the win against Everton, and suddenly, you know, you're 6 points clear of fifth, effectively, with the same number of games. And if you look at Spurs, who are the closest, because I think the good thing about this weekend, right, is that I think Newcastle play Brentford, which will be tough. And I think they play Brentford at home, I think. Yes, they play Brentford at home. And then I think Spurs play Brighton, if I recall. Yes, Spurs play Brighton at home. So you know that there's going to be a winner from these games. So whatever happens, Brentford will be either Brentford will be definitively the picture, or they'll be able to do us a sort against Newcastle. And we can go back to third, or you know, whether Spurs gets rid of Brighton or potentially Brighton, you know, defeats Spurs, and then you know it gives us further breathing room. Who knows? But you know, I said in my preview for this game that if United beat Brentford and Everton at home back to back, I'm fairly confident of top four. You know, I know we've still got one or two difficult games, but you know, when I look at our fixtures, okay, yes, you know, Brighton away, Spurs away, etc. But I'm confident enough that we can compared to how other teams are doing, that we can get at least a few more wins here or there to secure top four, basically, especially with the home games we have and how good we are at home. At least that's my point of view. Box says, how can Newcastle, Jacob Murphy, Callum Alonso win 5 West Ham, but we struggle to win 1 at home to Brentford with 2, 8 and wingers? Because the manner in which it's a few things, because let's keep it a stack. Newcastle's midfield is better than ours. It's more balanced, it's smooth, it's better. It's better. Newcastle have a more bad. I mean, let me quickly look at the. I mean, well, two things. West Ham are crap. West Ham are crap. West Ham are crap. So let's put that in perspective. West Ham are crap. But if you look at Newcastle's lineup, Joe Linton, Gimenez, and Longstaff is a balanced midfield. I'd make a case that it's better than our midfield because of how balanced it is. When you've seen what Eddie Howe has done with Joe Linton in the midfield, Bruno Guimaraes was the engine of that midfield. Then you've got to factor into account the centre-back partnership of Botman and Shah, who have only conceded 20 goals in 28 games all season, with Nick Pope behind them. Then Trippier and Dan Burn, especially Kieran Trippier. And then you've got the pace of St. Maximan. And obviously, it goes going of, like, if I'm honest, like in terms of balance and a team, Newcastle's team, it's definitely better than what our start. In my opinion, it was better than our starting 11 was against them, because we didn't have Casemiro or Martial playing, you know, overall, or Ericsson, for example. If you had those three, then maybe you can make an argument. But they've got the balance, and they've got a good coach. It's as simple as that, really. It's as simple as that, Box. And shout out to them. Are you going to troll HH? Says, I'm not sure when. Just for those who don't know, Chelsea are re-signing Potter. Sorry, Lampard. Exactly, Box. Super Frankie Lampard. Like, whatever happens to United this season, Chelsea, I mean, I've had a great week. Liverpool in the mud, Chelsea in the mud, Barca in the mud. I've had a very, very good day, very, very good week. These guys, these frauds in the mud, it's brilliant. And it's so good to see. 70 people watching. Yay, we're back. Make sure you like the vid, guys. Like the vid and subscribe if you're new, guys. It goes a long way, please. Um, yeah, Chelsea in the mud. Chelsea in the mud right now. I mean, the thing is, why I don't understand, and maybe you know, guys in the chat know, but what I don't understand is why did they sack Potter then? Like, if they're looking for long-term manager, fine, but I don't get why they sacked Potter though. Like, did they think that because they're not winning the Premier League, right? So the only thing that competition they have is the Champions League. So surely you should have just like let him just last till the end of the season and sacked him afterwards while you're looking for a manager. Like, why do that? And then at least maybe you give Potter a chance against Madrid. Like, Potter had a better chance of beating Madrid than Lampard did. I don't get it. I don't get it. A new Bans FC is emerging. Yes, it is. It is, and it's Chelsea FC. It is because you know what I want, and the sick part in me, actually, the sick part in me actually wants Chelsea to win the Champions League. The sick part in me, or at least get to the final. I want Chelsea to go on an unbeaten run, maybe get to the Champions League final, or maybe win it, and then they hire and then this Todd B hires Frank Lampard as a manager. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want Todd B to see. I want Frank Lampard to do an Ollie. I want Frank Lampard to do an Ollie. And if he does an Ollie, you know, it is what it is. Potter is a really good coach, says Box. He'll do well. So yeah, I think that I just think that I think Potter is a good development coach. It's one of the reasons why I think that Nagelsmann I don't think will work eventually at Chelsea either. He's a development coach. He needs time. He needs a project. Needs time. But you can't have that at in quote big clubs. Spurs maybe you can have a bit more time, just as long as it's not bad. But you know, uh, you know, development for me, the problem, unfortunately, with development managers like Potter, like Nagelsmann, etc., is that in the ideal world, what should happen is those clubs should keep those managers and just help them just, you know, recruit, sign bigger players, etc. You know, that's their level. That's where it should be. When you're at clubs that demand success every single season, it becomes problematic. Where you want instant success. Because if Brighton were 10th this season, where Chelsea are, Potter isn't going to get sacked. He's not going to get sacked. Whereas, you know, with Chelsea, it's like, yeah, of course you are, because we expect, you know, different things. You know, I hope Madrid plus Bayern batter City and Chelsea. I hope so too. Hala Madrid, man. I hope so too. I really hope so too. Wolf Ramos 30 says Tuchel's going to flop a Bayern. Well, that'll be interesting if Tuchel flops a Bayern, because you know, they beat Dortmund, but I mean, in retrospect, people are like, oh yeah, this is the thing. You know, they're back. Blah 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 blah. You know, let's see what happens. You know, of course, Tuchel and so on. But there was a small part of me that says, but I mean, Bayern always lubricate Dortmund in the derbies. Like, when have Bayern not lubricated Dortmund? Dortmund always bottle it. Like, they always bottle it against Bayern. They're like, Dortmund are, in the Bundesliga anyway. Dortmund are basically Spurs. Like, they are basically, let's keep the stack. Dortmund are basically Spurs, and I don't feel sorry for them anymore. They always do well, they come close, they get your hopes up, and then they basically just bottle the damn thing. So I have no empathy for them. But then when you saw Bayern lose to Freiburg, it's like, ooh, okay, maybe that was just a fluke, you know. So, but who knows? But anyway, let's go back to Manchester United, because this is a Manchester United post-match reaction. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it wasn't a great game. It was a poor game, and I mean, I could probably convince myself that we could probably maybe play like this against Everton at home and still win. You know, I think that we don't. None of the teams that I think we have left now. We'll just look at Manchester United's next fixtures. Let's have a look. Okay, so obviously Everton on Saturday, and I'll be doing my preview for that on Friday evening. And that's key. Thoughts on Sancho, says Raul Thomas. I'm losing my patience with him. And if I'm honest, like if you want me to be honest with Sancho, I'd recall Ahmad and give him a shot. I will give him one more season under Ten Hag with a more transfer window and a preseason, all the rest of it. But if he continues to play the way he plays, like to put it this way, I wouldn't mind if he was even shipped off this summer, but I don't mind giving him another year. Is basically my thoughts on Sancho. Because when we have Palestri, who I've at least seen potential in, I've seen potential in Palestri. You know, I've seen what Ahmed is doing at Sunderland. I think, you know what, let's give those guys a go. Like, I've seen quality from those guys. I have seen quality from Sancho, but it's not been consistent. And for the amount that we paid, it should be consistent, and it's not. It's not. If we don't score early versus Everton, might be 0-0. Yeah, I mean Everton. Sean Dyche will. I know how he'll play. It'll be counter attack, and it'll also be low block, and he won't want to concede. You know, so we do need to score first against Everton. And it's going to be difficult. I hope that Martial starts because that will make things a bit easier, but we'll see. The positive of it is that basically Casemiro served his suspension. So this is the last. If we could win this, Casemiro would be back. So we'll have Casemiro. So going to the fixtures. Casemiro will be back for Sevilla. Obviously, wasn't banned for the Sevilla, so that's going to be important against Sevilla. We'll actually have a function with fun. Hopefully, Eriksen will be back as well. Just guys, just imagine the midfield of Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno or Sabitzer or whatever. Just imagine that. It'll probably be Bruno, I think, won't it? I think it'll be Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. Imagine a functional midfield again. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. I don't know. I honestly thought we played quite well. In the first half, I agree. In the second half, I think we were lucky in the second half. I would not have been Brentford. I would not have been surprised if we got a draw. If not for David De Gea. I'm not saying we were garbage, but we lost momentum in the second half, and we were cutting it a bit close, at least in my opinion. It's gonna be hard to shift Sancho for the fee. Yeah, I know. However, that will also depend on the owners and who comes into Manchester United. Because I think that depending on who comes into the owners wise, they might not care. They might be like, yeah, we'll just sell them at a loss or thingy, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Rashford, Martial, Palestri. Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't think he'll do that. I don't think Ten Hag will do that, but that's in my personal opinion. That's what I would do. So after Everton, the next friendly game is against Forest away, which will be tough because Forest away is actually, surprisingly, Forest away are actually quite good at home. They took points of Liverpool. I think they took points of City as well, and Chelsea. Arsenal may have beaten them there, but yeah, they've taken points of a lot of teams at home. So I don't think Forest, which is why I think hopefully, our midfield, our actual midfield, that one includes Eriksen, will be back. If you haven't liked the vid, please like the vid already. It goes a long way. No, AD, you're fine. You're not drawing out. I'm probably going to be rounding up in a second anyway. The Chelsea game has been postponed because we've got the FA Cup final against Brighton. So obviously, like I said, Customer will be back for that. That's going to be a big game. Then we're away to Spurs. And I think for me, this is going to be the de facto game that will define because at this point, I would hope that United would be about 6 points clear of Spurs, with possibly a game in hand. And I think that if we beat them at Spurs, which is very possible given they are Spurs, and we always tend to beat them. I think you go 9 points, and then suddenly you have you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games But which is what, 6 times 12, 6 times 3. 6 times 3. What's 6 times 3 again? 18 points. So really, if we're 9 points after this game, you only need to win 3 of these games, and we can beat West Ham away. We can probably beat Bournemouth away, and we can probably, even if we lose to Brighton away, you've probably got at least one of these, Villa, Wolves, or Fulham, where we can get a win. So that's why I think this game is key. So, but yeah, I don't care saying it. I'm confident. I'm confident of fourth, and at the end of the day, if we get fourth with a Carabao, that's for me, from where we were, that's a good season. If we get fourth and 3 trophies, a Carabao, an FA Cup, and a Europa League, that's a brilliant season. If we get 2 trophies, that's a solid season, and then we need to go forward with new ownership, with a transfer window, and getting some of the deadwood out and really backing Ten Hag properly is what I would do. That's how I see things. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter. We have the United X. Smash the notification, Manchester News. Make sure you subscribe to. I'm posting shorts on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to my shorts channel. The shorts channel, link is in the description. It's called Red Devil Studio Extra. Subscribe to that, as well as Red Marvel. I'll be posting a lot more content next weeks. We're back. We're back, baby. Let's go. Have a nice day, everybody. And cheers. Peace, peace, peace.